To my mind the other day, or not the other day, earlier today. You know how they have like the Big Brother program for like, your kids can have siblings? They need to do that with good fucking men who want to be a fucking dad to somebody. So that way there's a program to where I take my kids who don't have a fucking father, and I'm damn sure not going to attempt to get one because I cannot stand men in general. They make me want to throw the fuck up and my skin crawl. But that way my kids would be able to go to a place to experience what it's like to have a dad. You know what I mean? Like, think of that. Because someone come up with that for kids that need a dad.
Did I just hear what I heard? How does that make sense? How does that make sense that instead of either staying with the father, stop having children with men that you don't like, the men that you say ain't shit, that you can't stand, that don't know how to be responsible, that they're children, and they don't, they're basically worthless, they don't know how to do nothing right? Instead of having kids with those type of men, you now want other men to volunteer their time. And mind you, big brother, big sister, they don't get paid. Those like older teenagers and young men and women that participate in those programs, they don't get paid. That's a nonprofit, first of all. Second of all, you want these men to just volunteer and say, yeah, sure, it's a Saturday, it's my day off, my only day off of the week. I'm going to go and take care of some children so they can know what it is to have a father. Look, it sounds nice, but instead of creating an organization like that, there needs to be a change here. There needs to be a real change. Why do we have all these fatherless children? And it's not to say that all men are perfect, because that's not true at all. And neither are women. Not all women are perfect. But when it comes to this type of conversation, why are we not trying to promote more of the message that women need to stop having children with men that they can't stand? It just doesn't make sense to me. For someone to sit here and say that instead of big brother, big sister, we need to have an organization where children that don't have fathers can just go. And it's coming from a woman that says that she can't stand men? Make that make sense. So you can't stand men, but you want men to come save you. I don't know. I'm just going to stop right there.
See, this is the thing. Toxic women will always attract toxic men. Here's a woman that is very ghetto, very hyperactive, very she's overacting, whatever. She's weird. She's just very flamboyant, right? But she's also very toxic. When you get to the point where you will damage another person's property, you will steal their things. If you believe them are cheating, okay, fine. Then just leave. Do not, this is a time where people should hold on to their boundaries, their morals. If I believe you're cheating, I'm just going to leave. If I believe that you are dishonest, if I believe that you are, treating me terribly, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to tell you how I feel, and then I'm just going to leave. If your partner is just not being affectionate towards you anymore, and you voice that concern, and there's no change, well, then just leave. Do not. It's like sometimes I don't understand how people want to stoop to the lows of other people. Stoop to the lows of being just terrible. Don't become what you are hating. So this is the type of woman this is what I said. Toxic women will always attract toxic men. Here's the type of woman that I'm not surprised she's dating a cheater. I believe most of her men that she's dated were cheaters as well, because she's the type of woman that will attract toxic men. The common denominator in everything is you. So if you don't learn how to fix you, then you will always repeat your cycle. You will always repeat things. Just you don't understand that because you're blinded to it. You know, here's a woman that she craves drama. Doing something like doing all the things she's done is drama filled. She's toxic. She craves drama. So no wonder she gets trauma. She gets toxic men, and she gets trauma. She's drama. So it's ridiculous. Just toxic.
Get ready with me to go and key my man's car. Yeah. I've been asking my man for the past week if everything is okay in our relationship, and he has sat here and reassured me time and time again that everything was okay. Y'all, everything was okay. But I know that something was off. My intuition, my spidey senses were tingling. And I asked him, I said, why you been like less affectionate? Like, why have you not really been touching me like that? Like, what's going on? And he has reassured me multiple times, on multiple occasions, that everything is good. But something didn't seem right. So we went to his mama's house the other day and I seen his iPad. The iPad is hooked up to his phone on the counter. So I didn't say nothing. So we left and went downstairs, and I came back upstairs to use the bathroom, and I grabbed the iPad and threw it in the bag. Threw it in my bag. Now I had this iPad for the last 2 days, and I have not went through the iPad. Like, I'm just like, don't be crazy. Like, don't do that. Like, don't go through this man's iPad. Like, it's okay. Whatever's supposed to come to light is gonna come to light eventually. But nah. Somebody kept calling him earlier. Just kept calling. And I'm like, babe, just answer the phone, because you ain't never had no problem answering the phone before. He goes, oh, it's a potential scam. He shows me the caller ID. It says potential scam. But after every phone call, there's text messages. What? So I go in the bathroom and I find the iPad that's in my closet, and I plug the iPad up in the bathroom, and I tell him I have to go shower. But before I go shower, he says, are you okay with me going out with the boys tonight? And I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, go ahead. I ain't never had an issue with you going out with your homeboys. Like, go ahead. We all hang out with a certain friend group, right? So if the guys are going out, typically the girls will go out. So I hit the girls like, hey, group chat of girls, y'all trying to go out tonight. They all are saying that they stay home with their man tonight. My man's the only one who's going out tonight. And then the iPad comes on. Y'all, I look through the messages. It's so many women, so many beautiful women in the messages. Messenger, his iMessage, Instagram, like DMs, like it's so many beautiful women. But guess what? Ain't nobody got no clothes on. This is not a single... Oh, okay. And then I go to the messages between him and the person who was blowing his phone up, right? She goes, why aren't you answering? Why aren't you answering? Why aren't you answering? He finally texts her back like, oh, I'm busy. She says, well, I want to see you tonight. He says, what time? She says 7. Baby, it's 5 o'clock right now. And you just asked me and told me you were going to hang out with your homeboys, bro. I'm not even upset at the women. Mind y'all knew about me. Whatever. Cool. Like, hey, like, you want to come get him. I'm a girl's girl. All you had to do was DM me. Y'all could have been came and got this man. But I'm upset at the fact that you lied to me repeatedly. And you tried to tell me that it was my mommy issues and my daddy issues and my self-sabotaging ways that was hindering our relationship. I'm gonna wear these docs so I feel like they definitely complement the shiesty.
I agree with this creator, but as like just the audacity to say that you can't even stand men, yet you chose to have kids. You chose to sleep with men that you can't stand and give them children. Here's the definition of a bad mother. You do not understand what you are doing to your children. You are literally, I'm assuming if she doesn't like these men, but you're putting, are these men just terrible men? So you're giving your children terrible men as fathers, right? You're letting terrible men become fathers. The ridiculousness of it, that you are creating the cycle over and over again, giving terrible men the power to become fathers. It is unbelievable. And here's another woman that does not understand her hate for men will permeate right, around her kids. So sons will see she hates men. Daughters will see she hates men. So that will be a psychological damage that will produce cycles of repeated, I don't know, single motherhood, of repeated terrible acts towards women. This is another woman that's just absolutely disgusting and does not understand accountability. Does not understand the responsibility that comes with having kids. Why not have kids with men that you love, that you deem are good people, are good, that can be good fathers? Why? And if you can't, let's say if you can't find a single man that's going to be a good father, a good man, then don't have kids. Why are you forcing kids into the world? Just the ridiculousness of it, that these are the type of women that's out there. The single mothers that do not understand accountability. These men that you say aren't shit, that are so terrible, why did you give them kids? Why did you give them the ability, why do you give them power to become fathers? The ridiculousness of it. The audacity.
Nobody told me how lonely being a man is. I had closer friendships with random women I met in the bathroom before I transitioned at clubs because of how open women are than I've had in my 8 years of transitioning. Because women are just so much more vulnerable and deep than men. But to have known, and I think a lot of trans men feel this, is we knew what depth felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to have people want to hug us. And to have people want to talk to us. And to have a community. And then you transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder to build. And people are colder. What's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid. But I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men. Because this shit is lonely. And I'm an emotionally mature man. I know how to build friendships, and it is still really, really hard. Try to think about how you can, in your small little community where you feel safe, can reach out to the men in your life and just help them feel maybe seen for a moment. Or do little conversations to help their emotional maturity so that they can reach out to people and have deeper guy friendships.